Imagine standing in a room full of people, conversations buzzing around you but still feeling alone. You look around, noticing others seem to connect effortlessly, while you struggle to build lasting friendships. Does this situation sound familiar? In a world bursting with connections, it can sometimes feel isolating when you don't have many friends. But does a lack of friends really say something about who you are? Does it reflect some hidden flaw? Or is there something more going on beneath the surface? In today's video, we're diving deep into the topic of friendships, or the lack of them, through the lens of Stoicism. We'll uncover how Stoic philosophy can help us understand why some struggle to form connections and, more importantly, how you can approach friendships in a meaningful and fulfilling way, even if you're not surrounded by people. The nature of friendship. A Stoic perspective. To start, let's get one thing straight. Friendships are not easy, nor are they guaranteed. The ancient Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, often reflected on the value of true friendships, noting that they are rare and precious, much like a diamond. If you found yourself with only a few close friends or none at all, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It could be a sign that you're selective, focusing on quality over quantity, a trait the Stoics would likely admire. In Stoicism, friendships are seen as something to cherish, but they aren't essential for living a fulfilled life. The Stoics believe that our happiness should not be dependent on external circumstances, and friendships, while valuable, are still an external part of life. This doesn't mean friendships aren't important. It just means they're not the sole source of meaning or happiness. Shyness and introversion, strengths, not flaws. Let's tackle one common reason people may feel isolated: shyness or introversion. Some people are naturally more reserved, and social settings can feel like daunting mazes. But here's where Stoicism offers a unique perspective. The Stoics taught that what we often see as personal weaknesses are actually opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing your introversion as something that holds you back, think of it as a special vantage point, a different way of interacting with the world. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you." In other words, accept who you are. If you're introverted, you don't have to force yourself into loud, chaotic environments to feel like you're normal. Your quiet nature can be a source of strength. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what is within our control. You might not control your shyness, but you control how you act in social situations. The next time you're in a group setting, instead of worrying about making a strong impression, focus on being present. Engage with people sincerely, and don't stress over whether or not they like you. Authenticity often speaks louder than words, and it can pave the way for deeper, more genuine connections. Building trust, the foundation of friendships. Another major roadblock in forming friendships is trust. Many of us have been burned before, whether by betrayal, misunderstanding, or simply growing apart. The Stoics remind us that trust isn't something we can demand or expect immediately. Trust is built slowly over time, through consistent actions and honest communication. Stoicism teaches us to expect that people, like everything else in life, are subject to change. We can't control how others behave or predict their future actions. What we can control is how we approach trust. Rather than putting up walls or expecting perfection from others, think of trust as something that grows with time and shared experiences. Being cautious is not the same as being closed off. Opening up to people, little by little, helps lay the groundwork for deeper relationships. And when trust is broken, don't see it as the end of the world. Stoicism helps us remain resilient by reminding us that setbacks, including broken trust, are opportunities for personal growth. Every disappointment is a chance to reflect on your values and your approach to relationships, making you stronger for the next connection that comes along. The challenge of social opportunities. In our modern world, it's easy to assume that the reason we lack friends is simply because we don't meet enough people. But in reality, the problem often isn't about meeting people. It's about engaging with the world around us. Even with all the tools for connection, social media, clubs, events, many people still feel isolated, This is where Stoicism gives us valuable insight. It encourages us to be proactive in our engagement, but not in a frantic, desperate way. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to find purpose in our actions. Volunteering, joining a class, or attending workshops are excellent ways to meet people who share your values and interests. By focusing on activities that matter to you, you're naturally more likely to connect with others on a deeper level. Think about it. When you volunteer, you're not just helping others, you're building bonds with like-minded individuals. Stoicism teaches that contributing to the greater good not only benefits society, but also builds connections that are rooted in something more meaningful than just small talk. Shared experiences, whether through community involvement or pursuing personal passions, are some of the best ways to meet people who align with your values. It's not about forcing friendships, but letting them grow naturally from activities that resonate with you. The art of communication. Listening as a superpower. It's easy to think that having great social skills means being charismatic, telling the best jokes, or knowing how to command a room. But the Stoics teach us that one of the most important social skills is actually much quieter: the ability to listen. When you genuinely listen to others, you give them the gift of feeling heard, which is incredibly powerful. In a world where everyone is eager to speak and be understood, few people take the time to truly listen. And here's the thing. Listening can help you build friendships, even if you don't think you're naturally good at socializing. By asking thoughtful questions and listening attentively, you show that you care about others. This creates a bond that goes beyond superficial conversation. Stoicism teaches us that every person we meet has something valuable to offer, whether it's wisdom, a lesson, or simply a different perspective. When you approach conversations with curiosity rather than trying to impress others, you become more engaging and approachable, and genuine connections will follow. Changing circumstances. Life is constantly changing. Sometimes the friendships we once held dear start to drift as our priorities shift. This is a natural part of life, and Stoicism helps us navigate these transitions with grace. As we grow older, career, family, and personal development often take precedence over socializing. While this might result in fewer friendships, it doesn't mean the connections you have are any less valuable. Stoicism reminds us that life's dynamic nature means people will come and go. It's not something to mourn, but to accept. If you're finding that your friendships are changing or fading, take it as a sign that you're evolving, not failing. The Stoics teach us to embrace these changes and focus on nurturing the relationships that still matter. It's about being present and mindful with the friends who remain, rather than clinging to what was. You may not have the same social circle you had in your 20s, but the few close relationships you maintain can still bring immense joy and fulfillment. Mental well-being and friendships. Our mental well-being plays a huge role in how we form and maintain friendships. Anxiety, stress, or depression can act as invisible barriers that make it harder to connect with others. Stoicism offers tools for managing our mental health in ways that make social interactions feel less overwhelming. The Stoics were big on mindfulness, long before it became a modern buzzword. They emphasized the importance of being present, which is a practice that can help you in your interactions with others. Instead of being trapped in your mind, worrying about how you're coming across or what others think of you, Stoicism encourages you to focus on what you can control: your actions, words, and reactions. By staying present and calm, even in moments of social anxiety, you can reduce the mental blocks that keep you from forming connections. Stoicism isn't about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about recognizing your emotions and understanding that they don't have to dictate your actions. Lifestyle choices. Prioritizing what matters. One key reason people struggle to maintain friendships in adulthood is simply a matter of time. We live in a world where we're constantly chasing deadlines, managing to-do lists, and trying to balance work with personal life. But Stoicism encourages us to reflect on what really matters. The Stoic way of life isn't about filling every hour with productivity. It's about making conscious decisions about how you spend your time. Ask yourself, are you dedicating time to the people who matter, or are you letting your relationships fade into the background? It's not about how much time you spend with people, but how meaningful that time is. You might not have the ability to meet friends every weekend, but when you do, ensure those moments are rich with connection and sincerity. Stoicism teaches us that it's not about having more friends, but about investing in those who add value to our lives. Quality, not quantity, is what truly matters in relationships. Differences in interests, embracing diversity. Another challenge in forming friendships is finding common ground, but Stoicism reminds us that differences in interests shouldn't be seen as barriers. In fact, they can be opportunities to learn and grow. It's easy to gravitate toward people who share our hobbies or passions, but if you limit yourself to just those, you might miss out on forming meaningful connections with people who can expand your worldview. Stoicism encourages us to be open to new perspectives, understanding that everyone has something to offer. Instead of focusing on whether someone shares all your interests, focus on whether they share your values. Friendships rooted in shared values such as honesty, kindness, or resilience tend to be far stronger than those based solely on common hobbies. Conclusion. So, does a lack of friends indicate something about you? Maybe, but not in the way you think. The Stoic perspective teaches us that friendships are rare, precious, and not something to be taken lightly. If you find yourself with few close friends, it might just mean you're being selective, focusing on quality over quantity. Friendship, much like life, is a journey. It's not about how many people surround you, but how deeply you connect with those who matter. By embracing Stoic principles, you can approach friendships with a sense of calm, wisdom, and purpose. Remember, it's not about fitting into society's mold of what friendship should look like. It's about building meaningful, genuine connections in your own way, at your own pace. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going.